The grocery store manager couldn't take his eyes off the tall black man, pushing not one, not two, but three shopping carts piled high with groceries and toys on Christmas Eve. Under the harsh buzz of fluorescent lights, the man moved calmly from aisle to aisle, stacking frozen turkeys, spiral-cut hams, canned vegetables, bags of rice, fresh produce, and brightly wrapped toys. It was the busiest night of the year, and yet something about this customer set the manager's nerves on edge. Richard Morrison had run this Chicago supermarket for over a decade. 12 years of handling theft, scams, and late-night disturbances had sharpened his instincts, or at least he believed they had. And every instinct in his body told him this situation wasn't right. This man didn't look like someone who should be filling 3 carts to the brim, especially dressed in a faded gray tracksuit that had clearly seen better days. Richard stepped directly into the man's path. "Sir," he said sharply, his tone heavy with suspicion, "before you go any further, I'm going to need proof that you can actually pay for all this." What Richard didn't realize, what no one in the store yet understood, was that he was confronting Muhammad Ali, the heavyweight champion of the world. And within minutes, his own prejudice would be exposed in a way he would never forget. Before we go deeper into this powerful moment involving one of the greatest athletes in history, comment below and tell us where you're watching from today. And if you believe every person deserves dignity and respect, no matter how they look or what they wear, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories that prove why quiet confidence and compassion matter more than appearances. Now let us rewind and uncover what really happened when Muhammad Ali walked into that Chicago grocery store on Christmas Eve, 1979. The evening air was bitterly cold as Ali stepped through the automatic doors of Morrison's Family Market on the city's south side. Inside, the store was overflowing with last-minute holiday shoppers, carts crammed with food for Christmas dinners and gifts wrapped in shiny paper. Soft carols floated through the speakers, while red and green decorations hung from every aisle, adding warmth to the chaos. Ali wore a simple gray tracksuit, comfortable and unremarkable. His sneakers were scuffed from years of training runs, and his posture carried that unmistakable grace, the kind that came from discipline, confidence, and lived experience. Tonight, he wasn't a celebrity. He wasn't a champion. He was just a man running an errand. 3 days earlier, during Friday prayers at his mosque, Ali had learned about a family in trouble. A woman named Sister Fatima, a Muslim social worker, told him about Maria Santos, a single Christian mother of 4 who had recently lost her factory job. With rent overdue and cupboards nearly empty, Maria was facing the devastating reality that her children would wake up on Christmas morning with no food and no gifts. The mosque community had gathered donations, but Sister Fatima knew Ali's heart. He had always stepped in quietly during moments like this, helping families regardless of faith or background. What many people never realized was that although Ali didn't celebrate Christmas religiously, his beliefs demanded generosity every day. To him, helping those in need wasn't tied to a calendar, it was a responsibility. So when Ali heard Maria's story, he didn't hesitate. He asked for her address and decided to do the shopping himself on Christmas Eve. As he moved through the produce section, selecting apples, oranges, potatoes, and greens, Ali felt eyes following him. At the end of the aisle, Richard Morrison stood with his arms crossed, watching closely. Nearby, behind the service desk, a young cashier named Jennifer Blake noticed her manager's intense stare and felt uneasy. Ali was no stranger to attention. Even after all his accomplishments, world titles, global fame, standing firm on principle, people still judged him by his skin color and his clothes. It hurt, but he had learned long ago that anger only deepened division. Dignity, patience, and action, that was how change happened. He continued to the meat section, carefully choosing 2 turkeys, 3 hams, and packages of chicken. In dairy, he added milk, eggs, butter, and cheese. Then came the toy aisle, where he selected dolls, action figures, board games, and children's books. With every item added, Richard's suspicion intensified. Finally, as Ali reached for canned vegetables, Richard approached, this time with 2 security guards. The manager stopped just inches away, flanked by security. One guard was Marcus Williams, a young black man only 6 months into the job. The other was Tom Peterson, a broad-shouldered white man with years of retail security experience. "Sir," Richard said loudly, ensuring nearby shoppers could hear. We need to talk about all this merchandise. Ali turned slowly, his expression calm and steady. There was a depth in his eyes, something forged through years of public scrutiny and private battles. Yes, sir, Ali replied evenly. How can I help you? You've got 3 carts full of hundreds of dollars worth of items, Richard said. Before you go any further, I need proof you can pay for it. The accusation landed heavily. Conversations nearby stopped. An elderly woman named Dorothy Chun froze mid-step, clutching a can of cranberry sauce. At the checkout lanes, Jennifer Blake felt her stomach tighten. Ali stood motionless, hands behind his back. I understand your concern, he said calmly. But I do have the money. I'm just shopping like everyone else. Richard scoffed. That's not enough. I've been watching you. Nobody dressed like that buys this much unless something's going on. Marcus shifted uncomfortably. In his short time on the job, he'd seen real shoplifters. Nervous, jumpy, afraid. This man was none of those things. Sir, Ali said patiently, I'm buying groceries and gifts for a family that needs help. Richard narrowed his eyes. A family? These aren't even for you. No, Ali replied. They're for a mother and her 4 children. Richard laughed harshly. So now you're a Christmas hero? Check his pockets, he told Tom. I bet he doesn't even have $20. That was when Dorothy Chin spoke. Excuse me, she said firmly. Are you really accusing this man based on how he looks? This doesn't concern you, ma'am, Richard snapped. It concerns everyone, Dorothy replied. He hasn't done anything wrong. Ali smiled gently at her. Thank you, ma'am. But it's all right. Some people judge appearances instead of character. Dorothy studied him more closely. The way he stood, the grace in his movements, the rhythm in his voice. Something felt familiar. Richard pressed on. If you can pay, prove it. And I want the delivery address. Ali reached into his pocket and removed a worn leather wallet. Inside was a neatly stacked bundle of bills. Hundreds, 20s, 10s. I have $800 cash, Ali said. I also have a bank card. I'm ready to pay now. Richard hesitated but pushed forward. Then explain why. Ali calmly recited the address, Maria's name, her children's ages, and her situation. The details silenced the aisle. Marcus felt something shift inside him. He had grown up hungry too. I don't think he's doing anything wrong, Marcus said quietly. I didn't ask you, Richard snapped. Maybe, Dorothy interjected. You just can't believe a black man in a tracksuit could be generous. The words landed hard. Heads nodded. Phones came out. Jennifer stepped forward. Mr. Morrison, he's done nothing wrong. We should let him check out. Richard was about to respond when Dorothy gasped. Oh my God, she whispered. You're Muhammad Ali. The store erupted in stunned murmurs. Shoppers turned. Marcus's jaw dropped. Jennifer covered her mouth. Even Tom looked shaken. Richard's face drained of color. Ali nodded quietly. Yes, ma'am. But that shouldn't change anything. Everyone deserves respect. Applause broke out. Ali waved it away. Richard stammered. Mr. Ali, I had no idea. Please, let us cover everything. Ali shook his head. No, this isn't about free groceries. This is about doing what's right. Jennifer asked to help deliver. Dorothy offered to add items. Other shoppers joined in. Carts multiplied. Food, coats, toys, books, hope. Ali paid in full and tipped generously. Before leaving, he turned to Richard. Learn from this. The next person won't be famous. Richard nodded through tears. At Maria Santos's apartment, the door opened to disbelief and tears. Ali introduced himself simply. We wanted to help, he said. The children laughed and cried. Ali stayed, encouraged them, and left quietly. The story spread. Lives changed. And that night, Muhammad Ali proved once more why greatness has nothing to do with titles and everything to do with love.